Nigerian activist Malcolm Omoribo advocates death sentence for corrupt politicians. He said the Nigerian system has not evolved enough to abolish the death sentence. Human rights activist Chief Malcolm Omoribo has called for the death penalty for government officials who embezzle public funds. The radical lawyer made the call during an exclusive interview with Rudolph Okonkwo on 90 Minutes Africa on Sunday. "I'm a proponent of the death sentence. These people should be tied to the stake and shot. They don't deserve to live. Corruption kills. Nigerians are wasting away due to corruption," he said. Mr. Omoribo became an instant internet sensation when he attended a Supreme Court proceeding dressed in the attire of a traditional religious African worshipper. He said he was motivated to appear in a traditional worshipper attire because he believes that the Supreme Court's decision affirming the rights of Muslim female students to wear hijab to school also means that adherents of other religions, including African traditional religions, also have a right to wear their attire to official functions. Speaking on the revelations of massive fraud in the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, by the Special Investigative Panel, the lawyer asked how monies that should be used to improve the lives of Nigerians would be pocketed by few individuals. He argued that it is only the death sentence that can deter corruption in the country. He said the Nigerian system has not evolved enough to abolish the death sentence. That is the only way that people will sit up, he argued. He alleged that many Nigerian leaders, both past and present, cannot account for their wealth. Who was Akpabio or Wike before 1999, the radical lawyer queried, but today they move around with stupendous wealth. Interesting. Well, from the first angle, we can definitely tell that Malcolm Omoribo is a controversial activist, obviously as a lawyer and coming to prominence by wearing, the traditional attire. He definitely is one to say very much controversial things that, get the attention of a lot of people. Regardless, with Nigeria's issue of corruption, it's not new. We've been new about this. A lot of people have gone scot-free when there is too much evidence against them to literally hold them accountable. And so you have to understand that we have a system that has enabled, impunity and that lack of accountability for so long, where it's not even hidden anymore. Now, the whole death sentence thing, I think he's being dramatic, and as we know, for someone who is controversial and who is, used to trending and being in the eyes of people, saying these things, of course will get that attention. A death sentence is very extreme in this case. I don't think that's what we need. But on the other hand, I do believe that he's right, where our legal system or the Nigerian system has not necessarily evolved from, that death sentence. Because again, when you talk about the legal system evolving, it's more than just, this is how the law is applied. It's more also a reflection of how society thinks. And so the whole death sentence, obviously we can say, is dramatic, but if we look at the fabrications of our society, someone can literally steal the most minute thing. Not that stealing is justified, but in certain areas in the country or certain parts of the country, certain tribes, if you steal something, you are actually killed or even, burnt to death, right? So he is right on the other hand by saying that our legal system has not necessarily evolved to a point where we have gone past the whole death sentence. If you're looking at death sentence, it's very dramatic, and the kind of people that would endorse it, you can definitely tell, there's a lack of development. But I do not think that it is a death sentence that is needed. It is just people holding themselves accountable. And I think that the system itself should be truncated and I guess rebuilt again, because the system in itself has built habits, has built mindsets, first of all, which is very strong, has built mindsets and people within that system who have committed the most atrocities and have gotten away with it. and seem like they will keep getting away with it. That is where the issue is. So it's either within this system, those that are upholding the different corners of our legal system and our financial system to hold their integrity and stop corruption, or else I just think need to start again. And I also think that within our society, it poses and pushes a spotlight in our society, because whatever we see in our government on a bigger scale, their laundry or the dirty laundry is out there. But the reality is that corruption, lack of integrity, impunity, all these things that we look at on our legal system and those that are in public offices is a reflection of what is actually going on in our span of control, in our churches, in our little businesses here and there, in our organizations. It's not far from what our reality as Nigerians are. It's just on a bigger scale where there's power, there's money, and of course visibility. We can see the other politicians, we can see what other people are doing. But really, it's a shame, because if at the top level, again, Nigeria is not the only corrupt country in the world. Corruption is not a new phenomenon that has just arrived, stayed, and developed in Nigeria. Other countries are corrupt, other people are corrupt. But the level to which we do not have regulation, first of all, which I think is where our solution really lies. Regulation in so many industries, in so many markets, in so many regions. We just need to be regulated. But where there's no regulation for so long, and we have literally built mindsets, I think this is where the stronghold is, I believe, because a death sentence is quite dramatic if you're looking at effective solutions. But at the end of the day, the questions we need to be asking ourselves and where the change needs to start from is in the people and in our little span of control, in our sphere of influences, whether it's your school, whether it's your church, whether it's your business. Build the habit and build the culture of being someone of integrity, breeding people, even in your churches, even in in your schools, in your businesses. The culture that we uphold in those spaces need to be strong and need to emphasize on our characters, or else where are we going to go? Even in families as well, you uphold these things. So it has to be a network where, as you're leaving your family, wherever you're stepping into, be it work, school, church, whatever, also has a strong hold of value when it comes to being responsible, being accountable, and having integrity. Or else you just build that muscle and that mindset of literally misbehavior until you get to the top level of power, where at that point it's too late. You can't start changing then. Put what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe.